Have you ever posted something and immediately wanted to delete it? Or have you ever made a video and then afterwards thought you could have done so much better? If so, you're not alone. These visibility fears or visibility patterns show up for a lot of people. Even myself, sometimes I get these feelings of, oh, that video could have been so much better. But I'll share in this what has helped me and so many clients overcome visibility fears and show up in a much more powerful, confident, magnetic way with their message and with their work. So if you have been low key hiding or downplaying your message, this is going to shift that for you. First off, visibility fears can come up at any stage of your journey. I have been at this for 10 years, a little bit more because I still showed up on social before my current business. And I've had layers of these fears come up at different stages of my journey each time I was stepping into a new next level. And also, we're constantly evolving and growing and expanding. And you're not the same person now as you were when you first started your business. So maybe you've been wanting to show up in a different way, or you've been wanting to speak to a different type of client, or you've been wanting to show a different part of your personality, and different fears or doubts can come up and can hinder your expression. So let's talk about what fear of being seen actually is and actually comes from anyway. This comes from most of the time fear of rejection or fear of judgment or fear of exile, or what a lot of people refer to as the witch wound, fear of being canceled and being misunderstood, which can create a lot of resistance, a lot of stress in the body. Because if your nervous system associates being seen with danger or with risk, then it's going to cause you to procrastinate or play it safe or people please in your content. And this isn't about eliminating that fear or eliminating that doubt. It's about doing it anyway, showing up anyway, reminding yourself who you are and reminding yourself that you're freaking amazing at what you do. So I want to share a little bit of my journey and my story around being seen, being visible, and what has come up for me at different stages of my journey and how I worked through it. So hopefully this can support you, or maybe you can resonate with some of the things that I share in this. Now, I'll go back a little bit to in the beginning when I first started my coaching business like 8, 9 years ago. I was very nervous to go on video. You may have heard me share this story before if you're familiar with my content, but I was literally shaking when I pressed the go live button on Facebook. And I had all these fears come up of, what if I mess up? What if I stumble over my words? What if people don't like this? What if I look silly? And so on. And that stemmed from a past experience of mine growing up in middle school. I was shy. I was mute. Basically, I didn't talk to anybody. I was picked on and so on and so forth. So my body remembered that as it's not safe to be seen. It's going to hurt. It's going to feel humiliating and so on and so forth. But in that moment, when I was shaking, about to press the go live button, I had a choice, just like we have a choice in every moment. I had a choice to override that program, to override it by telling myself, the more you do something, the more confidence you will build. And action builds confidence and crushes fear. So if you want to get better at this, you've got to move through fear and take action. So I pressed the button, I went on, I was a little nervous, but then the next day I did it again. Pressed the go live button, went on, talked about something I was passionate about, still was a little nervous, but I got better and better. I did it again and again and again and got better and better and better. And now I mean, gosh, I don't even know, hundreds, thousands, if not videos, podcasts, where I'm very comfortable on camera and I'm comfortable sharing my message and I feel clear and all of that. But I wouldn't have built the confidence muscle if I didn't take action. So that was what came up towards the beginning of my journey. But then as my community blew up and I had thousands and tens of thousands of people in my audience, I started feeling nervous again. A new visibility fear came up because I had tens of thousands of eyes on me. And so the fears that started to come up at that point of my journey were, oh my gosh, what if I'm not as good as I think I am at supporting people with what I'm doing? And I had doubts come up around the things that I was offering and the things that I was supporting people with. And I had these other fears coming up of, well, what if I'm found out and people find out that I'm not actually as good as I think I am or as I want to be with what I'm offering? And it was very interesting because I felt more pressure with more eyes on me at that point. And I had to remind myself of, okay, I know what has helped me. I know who I am. And if I share what has helped me and people resonate with it and it helps them, then that will build my confidence muscle. So I reminded myself of why I'm amazing at what I do and that I'm speaking to other people who resonate with my message, with my story, with my experiences. So if you're in a space where you sometimes question if your work is actually as good as you want it to be or as helpful or transformational as you want it to be, you sometimes feel those doubts. First of all, you're not those doubts. Those are just stories. But second of all, remind yourself of why you are amazing at what you do, all the things you've overcome, and so on. That's what helped me through that stage of having all these eyes on me, because I was brought back again to another experience I had in the past in school where people would pick on me, judge me, make fun of me, and so on. So in my mind, or my body, my mind and my body, I felt like because I had all these new eyes on me, that yes, some people loved what I'm sharing, but what about those other people who are judging me, who don't like me, who don't want me to succeed? But why would you focus on the people who don't like you, who don't vibe with you, who don't want you to succeed? Right? And so I got to this place of, okay, people can have their opinion and whatever. I don't need everybody to like me. But what I do need to do is speak to the people who resonate, the people that are meant for my work, the people that I'm actually here to serve and support. So when it comes to being more visible, claiming your space in a bolder way online, speak to the people that are literally meant for your work. Speak to the people that you're talking to. The people that are judging you aren't paying your bills. They don't matter. They're not your people. So focus on your experience, your story, your people, and stay rooted in that. That's what supported me through that phase of my journey. And then as time went on, there were other visibility fears that came up for me. For example, when my light language opened, I basically had a huge identity shift, and I felt called to share a new aspect of myself that I hadn't shared prior to that. And I was nervous, so nervous to start sharing my light language when I was called to share it. I don't share it as often now publicly just because I'm not particularly called to, but there was a time where it was very important for me to, and I felt very called to. And it came with a lot of fears. What are people going to think? They're going to judge me. Da, 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 da. And again, in that experience, what my download was, what the reminder was to help me go get through that and to just share it, which I'm so grateful I did. I have so many people resonate with my light language, who followed me because of it, who felt transformed because of it. And I still share it in my programs in my community. And I have some YouTube videos as well. But I'm so glad I started sharing it. But what helped me get through that resistance of feeling like, what are people going to think, da, 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 was reminding myself that I am doing this for me because I feel called to do it. If people don't like that, that's fine. But what would hurt even more than being judged is me stifling my expression. And that's been true for me. Like, there's nothing more soul crushing than feeling like you can't express yourself, or feeling inhibited in your expression, feeling like you just can't be yourself. But who's ever stopping you from being yourself? Nobody, except for your fears that you're identifying with. So in that moment, I was like, you know what? I'm doing this for me, and whoever resonates can resonate, and whoever doesn't, doesn't. And I'm okay with there being a little bit of fear present, but I'm honoring my expression. And it's one of the greatest acts of self-love to honor your expression and to express yourself just for you. So that's what helped me get through that phase. And I'm sharing all of this with you because I want you to know that at different stages of your journey, different types of visibility fears can come up, and there's always a way to navigate it. It's important to be aware of what's coming up, but also to not identify with it, not to intertwine yourself with the story, but just to be aware of, okay, this is coming up. This is how I feel. My human is feeling nervous right now. She's feeling a little bit of fear. What do I need to remind myself? What do I need to do to move through this? And the more you do it, the more confidence you'll build and the better you'll get. So after I started sharing my light language, I loved it. I felt so much more liberated. Like I said, I got to connect with so many more amazing people who resonated and so on and so forth. And then there were more things that came up on my journey as I grew and as I evolved. There were different aspects of things that I wanted to share, different parts of myself that I wanted to share, different stories that I wanted to share. But every time anything comes up for me, I simply notice it and I remind myself of who I am. And the more you know yourself, the less you will give a shit about what anyone else thinks about you online or in person. And the more you will own your expression and claim your space. I even had someone make a video of me mocking me sharing my light language several years ago. And hundreds of people commented on it and were agreeing with her and saying how crazy it was and blah, 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 blah. But you know what? I noticed my own growth in that moment because it literally didn't even faze me. I was just like, okay, well, they obviously don't understand and they're entitled to their own opinion and they don't have to like it. And I know who I am. I know what's true for me. I know that I'm authentic, and that's all that really matters. And it was in that moment that I realized the magnitude of my own growth, because if that happened in the past, it would have really shaken me to my core. it would have probably caused me to shut down and want to hide. But because I'm so rooted in myself and who I am, it I didn't care. Like, it didn't bother me. And the real thing that's underneath that is when you let it be okay for other people to have their opinion, to have their experience of you, to have their judgments of you, when you are like okay with that, like letting that be okay, that's when you free yourself. Literally, it's such a interesting concept and simple, but it's so fucking powerful when you are just like, you know what? It's okay that they don't like this content. It's okay that they judge me. They have their own beliefs, they have their own worldview, they have their own perspective, they have their own paradigm, but that's them. That has nothing to do with you. And when you can really accept that, then when you show up, it's not gonna you're gonna be so much more in your power and your authenticity because you're like, you know what? Cool. They don't like me. Great. And I noticed this again. I shared something that was pretty polarizing, a take of mine a couple years ago. And I lost a lot of followers for it. And a lot of people resonated with it. And I was a little nervous to share it, but I wanted to share it. And what I noticed was all the projections people were commenting, projections from their own belief system, their own view of the world. And that's what's happening all the time. When people come across your content, they have their own view, their own opinion, right? And when you are so rooted in who you are and you're like solid in that, then not only will you send out a stronger signal to the people who do resonate with you, but when the people who don't, it'll just be like, okay, they're seeing this in a different way. Cool. And it's this really cool thing where you'll magnetize the people who are meant for you and you'll repel the people who aren't. And I love supporting people with leveling up their visibility and claiming their space in bolder ways and really shifting who they're being, because your identity plays a big part in this, so that they can create a bigger impact and income, because it's so transformational and nothing is more freeing than being yourself. So if you want support with this in any way, shape, or form, I have my Quantum Edge sessions or different ways to work with me or get into my community, all in the description box below. But ultimately, your next level of impact and income and fulfillment is going to come from you being so rooted in who you are and liberated in your expression. The frequency of freedom is liberated self-expression, right? That's the being free in who you are, not letting other people dampen your expression. That frequency is the same frequency as the freedom that you desire to experience financially, with your business, with your life, with your time. It's the same frequency, but it comes from you being unapologetically you. And you're going to have fears come up along the way, and that's okay. Again, the more you do something, the more confident you will become. And the more you can stop and pause and notice what's coming up, the easier it is for you to remind yourself, to remember, to remind yourself of what's possible, remind yourself of your past experiences that you've overcome challenges, remind yourself why you're the best at what you do, and continue showing up. You don't need your nervous system to feel safe all the time to show up. Like I said, I was shaking when I hit the go live button. The thing that creates more regulated nervous system when it comes to visibility is showing up even when you're scared and creating that consistency so that you can get better at it, so that you can build confidence. Everybody has moments where they feel insecure or not the best at something. And when you can move through those moments, you'll expand much faster and meet more of who you are. So you don't eliminate the fear altogether. You just expand your capacity. You expand your ability to move even in the face of fear, not just in relation to being visible, but in relation to taking risks, being bold. The entrepreneurial journey is a journey of taking risks, of investing in yourself, of putting yourself out there, of growing out of the old you that you identified with. And with that is going to come fear and doubt at times, but you are not those things. You are who you say you are. So if you want to step into your next level of visibility, of blowing up on social media, of claiming your space, of talking about your offers so much more confidently, so much more clearly, I want you to stop asking yourself, what will other people think? And start asking yourself, what do my people need to hear from me today? What is my heart feel called to share today? How can I let my people that are meant to be in my world and my work know that I understand them, that I see them, that I get them, that I can support them? And when you ask better questions, you'll get better results, and it will inspire the embodied actions that you take to take your visibility to the next level, to take your impact to the next level, to receive more amazing people in your world and in your offers. And the more you speak your truth, share your vulnerability, take up space, show your face, be consistent, the safer it all feels and becomes. So I want to challenge you after you watch this video to think about what is something that you can post that pushes your edge a little bit. Maybe it's a story that you share that leads to one of your offers. Maybe it is like just really claiming the fact that you are amazing at what you do and sharing your process a little bit, or sharing a client success story and like really owning that. Or maybe it's sharing your own success story and doing it in a way where you're literally unfiltered, in a way of how you would talk to a friend about it, that you're not like hiding or polishing or people pleasing. What can you post that it captures the energy of your new embodied conviction and share it? Bonus points if it makes you a little nervous to share it. Some of my best posts, my best pieces of content have been the ones that I was low key or really freaking nervous to post. Literally. I've had some that I've shared with close friends of mine before I posted them. I'm like, hey, I'm going to post this. I'm nervous to post this. But I was nervous because I knew that it would repel some people and attract some people. And it was bringing up a little bit of anxiety. But at the same time, I knew that I wanted to share it because I wanted to express myself. And I did. And those are the posts that have done so freaking amazing. And like I said before, even still, sometimes I notice things come up for me around showing up, but I don't spiral into it and I don't make it mean anything. I just notice, oh, fear is present. Oh, this nervous energy is present. So what I like to do is remind myself in the moment. I always know what to say. Every time I create a piece of content or press a record to make a video or a podcast, I always know what to say. I trust my channel. The exact message that's meant to come through me will come through me in the perfect way and will reach the perfect people. I give myself that reminder and I trust my channel and I just go. And it works like a charm every single time, especially in the moments where I feel like I am procrastinating or I don't really want to create a video or podcast, but I also really do. But I notice that the resistance is creating the energy of procrastination. I just remind myself, I always know what to say. I'm excited to show up for my people. I know this is going to be super helpful for exactly who it's meant for. The words will always flow through me. I trust my channel, and I always do. And I don't plan out my content or script things or anything like that. I roughly plan it. And by roughly plan it, for me, what helps me is I know my topic, I know my opening hook usually, and I have like 3 bullet points and know what I'm going to talk about. Everything else, I flow, I channel, but I like having a little bit of structure for at least for long form content like this because it helps my flow. So there's no right or wrong though. Whatever supports you in honoring your flow and showing up consistently and claiming your space is really all that matters. But it really comes back to your beliefs, your identity, and really being anchored in your truth and in your power. So that is all I have for today. I love you. If you want support on your journey, come join us in my school community. It's amazing. There's so many trainings and hypnosis and EFT and lots of goodies in there. Or learn how to work with me beyond that in the description box below. All the details are there. Also have my new identity shift guide available. It's a free guide. Go through my whole identity shifting process that will support you with being a master conscious creator of your reality so that you can experience more amazing results in your life and in your business. All right, I'm going to leave it here. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next one.